guys moving forward, knowing what kind of happened last night and just the adversity you're facing with these injuries?
The injuries are obviously tough. You don't wish injuries upon anybody, and especially us, our own selves. But again, we just got to have next guy, whoever it is, step up and try to contribute as best he can on both ends of the floor, without trying to do too much, because you're missing two guys that Malik's quote unquote a starter for us to a certain degree because he finishes games. Kevin's been a quote unquote starter for us to a certain degree, and then Trey and Sasha both have been rotational guys, and so you're missing a lot. But we have to continue to try to figure it out as a group and not rely on one guy doing it by himself.
How well do you feel you guys are built to kind of sustain some of these things?
The neat part about it is this is something we'll see, because we haven't experienced this. Last year, we didn't face many injuries, and so we weren't put in this predicament. So this is new for all of us, and it'd be great to see how we respond.
Mike, I'm sure you're all have the same identity, but how much do you need to alter what you do based on what personnel you have out there?
Obviously with the second unit, we may not be able to play as much pick and roll, because Malik played a lot of pick and roll, and so that's probably, just off the top of my head, that's probably the biggest thing. And another thing is we got to keep trying to mix up our defenses because we're not as big. When you take Trey and you take Sasha out for sure. Now you have HB and you got Keegan as power forwards. So there are times that even when both those guys are out, we got four guards out on the floor. So we got to mix in some different things defensively every once in a while. But other than that, with 9 games left or something like that, it's hard to completely change or alter what we try to do on both ends of the floor.
Do you feel like you need increased offensive aggression from guys like Harrison and Keegan?
Yeah. I mean, if they have an advantage, whether it's in a snap drive, not just to score though, but to start the dominoes to fall. Like that's like a snap drive means one of those guys can get into the paint and then spray it, and get somebody else a really good look. And that was one of the things that I thought after the game last night. And then even after watching, I thought Dallas did a heck of a job with that. Man, it seemed like, even Luka and Kyrie to a certain degree, they went, and if they got to their spots, they shot it. But if they didn't, and or they felt a second body or a third body, boom, they got off it. And then that guy, if he was wide open, he shot it. If he felt a closeout, he'd snap drive, and then he'd get off of it. And that's why, after the game, I had to give them a lot of credit because they played fantastic basketball offensively down the stretch, and you talk about a guy at Dante Exum who's not a great three-point shooter, but they kept giving him opportunities to shoot the ball, and they just live with the consequences. And so when you create the domino effect like that, good things happen. And so again, going back to Keegan and HB, yeah, we want them to be aggressive, but that doesn't necessarily mean just to score.
Coach Brown, De'Aaron played 40 minutes last night.
Yeah.
Is this something that you might see going forward, or it just depends on the flow of the game?
It depends on the flow of the game, but right now it's basically we're fighting for our playoff lives, and so he and Domas, their minutes probably will go up. But if we have an opportunity to rest them, we'd like to rest them because we're going to demand heavy lifting from them down the stretch. So it's just the flow of the game. But again, like I said, the closer the playoffs, especially when you need games and in the playoffs, your guys usually play more minutes.
So you guys are obviously dealing with injuries now, a couple of tough losses. How do you think everyone's holding up emotionally right now?
I think good. I really do. And again, we haven't experienced this, and so for not experiencing what we're going through, I think our guys' spirits and mental state, however you want to call it, is in the right place. Now we have to translate that to winning games still, but I don't feel like anybody is down or anything like that at this point.
Mike, rotationally, is there other guys who haven't gotten a shot this year that might get some minutes? A guy like Colby, or possibly more like Kessler, what he got last night. Do you expect that at all?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Guys just have to be ready. And last night we went to Kessler because I just felt like, man, he could make a shot, possibly. He's a really good shooter. And then we need the length and size because Dallas is a big team, and so to try to bring more size out there, or length, athleticism, that's the reason why we ended up going to Kessler, and he played well.
Mike, how important is a game like Utah to get a little bit of momentum going into a tough stretch of games? Obviously, Clippers not on the road going forward.
I keep getting asked that every game. Every game's important. The one thing that I would say is last night maybe a little bit more important than the Utah game, just because we control the tiebreaker if we win it. But let's say that we beat Utah and we lose the next 7. The Utah game didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So for us, our next game is extremely important. It's of the utmost importance, not all year, because it's the next one. And then after that, I don't even know who we play, but whoever that is, on down the line. So we have to figure out how to get a win the next time we stay on the floor, every single time we get an opportunity to play a game.
Thanks, everyone.